I'm gonna go out there and open this video up with a fist bump to Sean Simpson, everybody. Yeah, get it in there, Simmer. Because Sean Simpson went out there and made himself a tweet that was so... Oh man, this was kind of preposterous, it was brash, and it had a lot of people talking. So, big shout out to Sean Simpson for making a tweet that I can make a video about and hopefully get some YouTube views, because I know everybody's gonna go out there and say, wait a minute, this TSN guy said that? Let's read what Sean Simpson had to say. Kyle Dubas will walk Auston Matthews to unrestricted free agency in 2 years at age 27. At that point, he's off to LA for a $7 by $15 million deal, and the next Toronto rebuild begins. Now, I know, right? That tweet is so, out there. I had to check 2, 3, 4 times. I'm checking right now, highlighting Sean Simpson's name, making sure that this tweet actually came from him and not from somebody pretending to be him to try to debate and troll the entire NHL Twitter community. No, this is the real Sean Simpson saying this on the broadcast. Unfortunately, Sean Simpson does not have a little check mark on Twitter, but he does have 32,000 followers, so it makes me think that this is the real one. Auston Matthews going over to the Kings at age 27 in 2024? Let's talk about it here. So, Auston Matthews right now is 24 years old. He'll be 25 by the time September 17 rolls around. Oh my goodness, that's tomorrow! Yo! That's crazy! His birthday's tomorrow, and we're making a video talking about him leaving Toronto. This is certainly going to go well with the algorithm, isn't it? But either way, Matthews is, let's just say for the sake of making things easy, he's 25 years old. And he has 2 more seasons, 2022-2023 and 2023-2024, on his current 11.64 AAV contract. Now, the big thing about this contract is that he will be a UFA by the time everything is set and done. Kyle Dubas has the opportunity to start negotiating an extension with Matthews by the time the 2022-2023 season period comes to an end. So, around this time next year, we're sort of probably going to start seeing more conversations about Matthews either staying or going, depending on whether or not he has a contract extension in the books. But the way Simpson is writing about it here says that Auston Matthews, with the way the Maple Leafs have performed so far, the way he has grown into such a talented NHL player, and with the recent news that we have had saying that the NHL salary cap could increase by $9 million by the time the mid-2020s roll around, it makes things really interesting when you try to project where Auston Matthews' contract could go when he's 27 years old as a pending UFA in the prime of his career. We know he just scored 51 goals in the span of his own personal 50 games played in 21-22. He had a 60-goal season and only 70-something games played. One of the best seasons we have seen from an NHL goal scorer in such a long time. And he's probably going to be able to go out there and do something similar to that next year. Maybe something similar to that in 2023, 2024. And so by the time the 2024 offseason rolls around, if Kyle Dubas does not have an Auston Matthews extension in his back pocket, there's going to be so much temptation for him and his camp to say, okay, well, Kyle Dubas is trying to offer you, let's say, $13 million to stay in Toronto because, hey, the team kind of needs you. But if you go to the free agent market, you might be able to get $14 or $15 million a year there. What's the move here, Austin? It's just interesting to me how Sean Simpson has specifically highlighted LA being the team to sign Auston Matthews to a 7-year by $15 million AAV contract, and how Toronto is going to have to rebuild. What does that even mean? Trading away Marner now, trading away Tavares, trading away Nylander, trading away Riley, letting Matthews go to free agency? Is that really going to be the downfall of the 2010s-ish? No, the late 2010s, early 2020s Toronto Maple Leaf squad? Matthews is the best, most talented Leaf of all time. So, just the idea that a TSN insider is going out there into the media and saying, yeah, no, he's gonna leave in 2 years. Mark my words, man. That's kind of wild to me. In fact, if you go over to the replies, so many of them are saying things like, oh, look at this. The TSN Ottawa insiders going out there and just thinking about the Toronto Maple Leafs again. Oh, it's all about the Leafs. Look at this guy going out there trying to get clicks about the Leafs. And I guess you could say the same thing about me because I'm making this YouTube video here on the channel, but let's just go over the hypothetical situation of Matthews going to LA specifically. Because when I think about the LA Kings and what they could be by the time 2024, 2025 rolls around, yes, they are going to be a much better team than the Arizona Coyotes, right? I think we can all agree on that. The Coyotes are supposed to be good as the years go on, and even if they are good enough to maybe entice a guy like Auston Matthews to come back home, a team like LA, I think they're just a little bit further down that development path cycle than the Coyotes are right now. They have some really talented players. Some of the guys are a little bit older, like Doughty and Kopitar. Some of the guys are a little bit younger, like Kevin Fiala. You have Victor Arvidsson, who was over there too. Not to mention the prospects in Quinton Byfield, Alex Turcotte. These are still some pretty good players over there too. But if you have a team that has a guy like Auston Matthews playing alongside a Kevin Fiala, like, you better watch out, because those two snipers on the same line are absolutely going to cause havoc in the Pacific Division. Add Victor Arvidsson over there too, not to mention Philippe Deneau, who is a 30-goal scorer now, and you have yourselves a recipe for success that can actually make for some really interesting playoff rounds. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, the LA Kings played off against the Oilers last season in the first round of the playoffs, so if you have a Matthews versus McDavid in the playoffs in round 1 or something, or maybe, let's say one of these teams is a wild card and they eventually go to the conference finals together, imagine McDavid versus Matthews for the rights to battle in the Stanley Cup Finals. We already saw McDavid versus McKinnon, and that was unfortunately underwhelming because the Oilers were not that good. They could not tango with the Colorado Avalanche, unfortunately. But Auston Matthews, hey, if the Maple Leafs keep on losing in the first round, I would not really go out there and dissuade myself from believing that a world where Matthews ends up leaving does exist. I know he says he wants to be in Toronto and he wants to be the guy to help out the Maple Leafs break that curse of 1967 and not making the second round for 2 decades pretty much. I know he wants to be that guy, and it's a proper thing to go out there and say that you want to be that guy. But if he's given the opportunity to make so much more per season in another market that boasts a team that can actually make it past that first round, I mean, it's difficult for me to put myself in Matthews' position and say, yeah, no, I'm going to stay. Sorry, I'm going to turn down the extra $3 or $4 million a year from a team that is young like LA that can actually get better as the years go on, and they still made the playoffs already this season, and they took the Oilers to a Game 7. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs, but they did. And the Kings are supposed to get better as the 2020s come and go, so what gives? Sean Simpson might be onto something here, man. I swear to goodness. I know I'm kind of just saying that in jest, but it's kind of funny that he even made this tweet in the first place. So if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, talk to the comments all your thoughts about Sean Simpson's tweet, first and foremost. How do you feel about the Ottawa Senators insider on TSN going out there making a tweet like this? And how do you feel about the idea of Matthews specifically leaving the team in general? Not even just to LA, but just leaving the team. If you wanted to expand more on the LA Kings, and hey, Kings fans, I invite you to the comment section below and talk to me. What do you think about the idea of Auston Matthews coming over to your squad? And if it's a 7-year by $15 million deal, how do you feel about that? That would make him the most expensive player the NHL has ever seen. I mean, cough cough, Nathan McKinnon is probably going to get his extension soon, and he is not going to be cheap either. But for Auston Matthews in 2024, what is the move? Does he stick around in Toronto? Does he go to Arizona? Does he go to LA? We already made a video talking about the idea of Matthews leaving the Toronto Maple Leafs and coming over to any of these teams in Anaheim, San Jose, LA, Vegas, or Arizona. But Sean Simpson's going out there and saying specifically, no, it's going to be the Kings. 7 by $15 million. What's the total amount on that? 15 times 7. Oh boy, a $105 million deal? That's like LeBron James money, except LeBron would probably be getting that in like 2 years rather than 7. But talk in the comments either way all your thoughts about Auston Matthews and the LA Kings, Simpson's tweet, and everything in between. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.